So occasionally, it's quite a privilege. People send me things that they've written, either about the Satipatthana Sutta usually, or some aspect of it. And recently, a couple of people have sent me different things, and I wanted to pick out something that Pranya Priya sent me an article that he'd written on the Satipatthana Sutta to use in one of the retreats he co-leads at Vajraloka. And he at the end of his quite long essay, he defines the Satipatthana Sutta. He says you can talk of the Satipatthana Sutta as allowing and knowing, or knowing and allowing. I think it's allowing and knowing. And I just really like this. It's very simple, just allowing and knowing. Knowing, being aware of, noticing. And allowing, having a particular relationship to objects, particular relationship to what is and what's happening. And I could add one other thing, and I'm just going to drop that in really lightly, but might add feeling. If you like, an awareness of feeling. And Bhante talks about when wisdom or understanding, he says it's not just knowing, but also feeling. So I quite like that. You don't leave out, if you like, this felt sense or feeling, in knowing as feeling into what's happening. And going to take another angle from it here, but I was watching a parliamentary debate recently, as you do. Well, as I don't usually, but I was watching a cross-party debate on whether to change the law in England on assisted dying, and which is an interest of mine. And I was really impressed with how well these MPs disagreed with each other, how they would give way to allow immediately. They'd be in the middle of speaking, they'd give way to allow somebody else to speak, which is part of the formality, but I have to say it really helped. They also addressed, each time there was what could be seen as an interruption, they addressed each other as honourable member, the honourable member for Stroud or somewhere. So this probably helped as well. But they disagreed with such civility, graciousness, and respectfulness. To be honest, often more than I've seen in the order at times, with the various discussions and disagreements that happen, debates that happen in the order. So I was just musing along with this, how it is when we disagree within ourselves. So not with each other, but just within our own beings, sort of arguing, judging, criticizing, not liking something about what's happening within our own being, or liking it too much, wanting it to stay, not being willing to let things change. So we're siding with a particular aspect of our beings, or we take sides. One side is welcome and the other side is unwelcome. So our relationship to experience is problematic when we're not allowing. And yeah, that happens to some degree or another, but we can be either resisting what's happening, or that the other side of it, the indulging or wanting its continuation. So the first step with allowing is allowing all that resistance, that resisting experience, or the impulse to indulge, the impulse to for wanting arising, but allowing it with awareness. So we get to see, to feel out, to know, to really know what's happening. so that the mind is not thinking this isn't what's supposed to be happening. Resisting isn't what's supposed to be happening. Let's resist it some more. But really, yeah, allowing with awareness, knowing that the mind is resisting, is not wanting, or that it's wanting something to be different often. So we've got the knowing there, we've got knowing, awareness, we've also got right view, that helpful perspective where we're not taking things personally. And that's automatically present if we're allowing some aspect of our experience, particularly when we'd rather it be different. We can recognize that wanting it to be different. And if we're really able to accept, to allow whatever is happening, and to allow that reactivity to be known in the mind, in the moment, then a certain amount of wisdom is present. There's clearly always more wisdom that can be present, but there's a clarity, there's a knowing, oh, this is what's happening, and the mind is okay with that. Maybe it's curious about that. So experience in those moments when allowing is present is that we're not identifying with what's happening in the usual way. Might not want to go as far as addressing our resistance or taking sides as the honourable member, but you could try it and see what. Yeah, just bringing in quite consciously that civility or respect or grace or graciousness in relationship to whatever is arising. It's all a conditioned arising anyway. It's happening anyway, whether or not we resist it or we over prioritize it and side with it. So allowing, last point, it also shows us when right attitude is present, because allowing is an aspect of right attitude, an attitude that's going to be helpful in furthering more knowing, more understanding coming. So allowing and knowing, and you might want to just drop those in during the sit.